Hello, how are you? Hope you've been well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending with where you're going to get this live session or recording from. So this is Wanjiru Gishangi. As usual, show up. And every time you show up, invite your friends. And of course, let me know that you can hear me. Once you get in, invite your friends, share this session. Let me know that you can hear me. Anytime you get on, let me know that you can hear me. That's the first and most important part. When you get in, let me know that you can hear me. And also invite your friends, okay? Invite your friends and confirm that you can hear me. I'm waiting. Please confirm that you can hear me before I lose audio. Please confirm that you can hear me. Please, somebody text that you can hear me. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, apologies that I never did the Saturday live. Sometimes life happens, but doesn't hurt. I'm here, right? So, I'm just going to deal with some of the things that have really been repeated since Sunday. It's like there's somebody who has decided to just keep texting until I talk about it. Nancy, how are you? Winfred, thank you. Millie, thank you so much. Ian, thank you. Kim, thank you so much for confirming. Thank you so much for showing up. So this is Wanjiru Gishangi. By now, of course, you do know me. Julian, how are you? Victor, thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about something new or something that I've not talked about before. That's what we agreed, that we'll be talking about new things or new issues in the market that we've not discussed on previous live sessions. So today we talk about the power of three. Why did I really choose to talk about the power of three today? Because I've just been ignored by my mentorship group. They've just ignored the teacher. Anyway, so the power of three. The power of three. Then the second thing is risk management. I don't know why everybody is asking about risk management, yet I mentioned it on the other video. Edwin, you've just seen it right now and it's an hour. Anyway, so risk management. Then we'll talk about day trading. I have 6 people who WhatsApped me telling me to talk about the difference between a day trader and a swing trader. I thought that was clear because I remember I did a post a year ago about knowing what kind of a trader you want to be, but it seems like they did not read the text or I wasn't clear, so I don't know. Then tomorrow is Friday. Not only is it Friday, it's the 10th. It's the 10th. Remember on previous post I said it's important to know the different and important dates in the market, how the market reacts on specific dates, and of course how different currencies work on that. So it's important that we talk about the Friday markets. I will not be specific on the 10th because I do not want to mislead anybody. I don't want you to quote me next month and say it's 10, then she said. No. So I'll only talk about the Friday market regardless of the dates, okay? There on Friday market, you can also talk about NFP, though I've mentioned about NFP before, but maybe remind me if I forget, remind me. And we will talk about volume trading. Volume trading. The reason I want to talk about volume trading is because there are so many strategies out here. And remember, on this page, we do not bash any strategy because all strategies are okay. Because what's the goal of a strategy is to tell you when to buy or sell. So we don't have a strategy that we can say it's like 100%, and that's why we don't bash anybody's strategy. We just say, whichever strategy you're on, let it work well for your personality, your money behavior, and of course let whoever trains you tell you the rules. Because if I just give you my strategy but I don't give you the rules, it sure will not make you money. And that's why even when you're self-training, for example, the people who pick my books and decide to self-train, I usually emphasize on the rules. under each strategy, I have indicated rules, because a strategy is not good enough if it doesn't have rules. Okay, because it's those rules that will make you money. So today we'll be talking about volume trading. I've never talked about it anywhere, even on the books. No, I think I've talked it on one mentorship group, but I've never talked about it on this page. So pay attention. And of course, the last one will be somebody asked me to talk about the difference, or I don't know, personal mentorship versus self-training. So yeah, so let's get to it. So thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, Sabina. Thank you for showing up. Let's get to it. So let's talk about the power of 3. Now, power of 3. When I talk about 3, I mean number 3. Okay, what happens after every 3 in the market? Okay, where do I start with the power of 3? Let me start with the currency. Which currency would you want me to talk about? Maybe write on the comments which currency you'd want me to demonstrate with on the power of 3. Pick one. Be fast, please be fast. Let me know which currency, because if I choose, I'll just choose Euro NZD, because it's the one on my chart right now. So can I just talk about Euro NZD? Yeah, okay, fine, Euro NZD. So for institutional, Jane, really, you people? Oh, my babe, GBPJPY. Seriously? Okay. Somebody said I should actually talk about my babe. So why not? Let's talk about babe. Higher. So this is, let's open. If I told you somewhere where you can open your charts, let's talk about GBPJPY on the power of 3. Now, let me first explain what the power of 3 is all about. The power of 3 is, after every 3 hits, which strategy should we use that is common for everybody? I imagine that if you're following this page, you've ever gone through, which is the most common strategy, the trend lines, right? Trend lines. I keep saying trend lines is the most common because every trader goes through the trend line kind of training or something. So let's use the most common, which is not complicated. It's not institutional. It's nothing. It's just technical, drawing a line. So let's use a trend line for GBPJPY. So we would be drawing a trend line from 18th of August, which is the lowest low that we've gotten, to 6th of September, right? So that's a trend line from bottom to the top. Now check how many times, oh sorry, I'm using the 4-hour chart. We're using that trend line on the 4-hour chart. Do you know why we're using the 4-hour chart? Because it's always important to start with the higher time frame, because the higher time frame will basically tell you where the market makers are pushing their volumes. So we will not go lower, we can only go higher. So you can take the daily, the weekly if you so wish, but don't go lower on this power of 3. Okay? Yeah, I know some people who do BTMM, they would definitely do it on the 1 hour, which is okay for BTMM. But in this case, please, let's just stick to the 4 hour. But you can do it in your own time frame. Okay? Remember, you're the king or queen of your own accounts. So now, on the 4 hour of GBPJPY, if you do that trend line from the 18th of August to 6th of September, how many hits or how many touches does your trend line get? Anybody who has done that, tell me how many touches have been done on your trend line. I hope you're doing it as I'm talking. I hope you're not just watching and not doing it. So, basically, if you've done that, you see that it has 3 touches. 3 touches. What happens after the 3rd touch? If you've opened your chart and you've done that trend line, tell me what happened after the 3rd touch. Somebody, please keep this engaging. Tell me what happened after the 3rd touch. Your trend line was broken, right? Your trend line was broken, right or wrong? And you don't have to do it with GBPJPY. Do it with your currency, the currency you like most. Go to the 4-hour chart, draw your trend line, and see what happens from the third touch. And when I talk about the third touch, I mean the touch on the trend line, not the retracements. Okay, I want the touch on the trend line. From the third, it breaks the trend line. But just because your trend line has been broken, does that mean that we are changing the direction? No, we're not changing the direction. No, no, no. The market is just taking some, do we say time off? Please don't quote that. That is in quotes. Time off is in quotes. But the institutions are taking their profits. They are now going to retest that trend line. So you can see the market just throwing wicks up there. If at all you're using GBPJPY, they are throwing those tails, and then they give you a short sell trade. That is in regards to GBPJPY or any other pound pair or any other pair that has GBP as a base quote. They'll be doing that. Now, why does that happen? Because after every 3 pushes, what we call the 3 impasse pushes, the institutions will take some profits. Now these guys, they don't take prices that are up there. So what will they do? They'll push lower so that they can trap people who think it's reversal time. And this is what works against those people who trade candlesticks. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying, at the break of that trend line, you find there are so many dodges, there are so many, I don't know, engulfings, there are so many reversal patterns. But, it only took 3 days of trapping from 6th of September to today. What happened today after the 3 days of trapping? The market just assumed that nothing happened and it started upwards again. Why 3? Because there's power of 3. I may not have the best words to explain the power of 3, but that is what happens. After 3 hits, they'll take their profits, they'll trap the opposite direction, give false information or give false patterns, the dodges, I don't know, engulfings, the top, what do you call them? Double top, bottom top, inverse tops, whatever those are. They'll do all that, but in 3 days. In 3 days. And I'm not just saying 3 days. It can also be 3 weeks. It just has to be 3. And it can also be 3 pushes. Like trap 1, trap 2, trap 3. You do all those 3s, and once it's hit the third, it continues the older trend as if nothing happened. And that is what actually happened today. The market just woke up, hit that previous institutional level or previous institutional demand. If you're dealing with the demand, it just hit the demand that was created on 1st September, pushed upward as if nothing happened. If you're trading the blocks, it just retested that block that was created on 1st September and ignored everything else. It's like, what can you do? Okay, so this is what I want you to know from now onwards. That is, if at all you're going to follow. Once you have a low point or a high point, these are the peaks, the sources, whatever you call them. You want to call them the peaks, you want to call them the source, depending with your strategy, it's okay. Once you have it and it hits 3 points, could be your 3 blocks, can be your 3 weeks, can be your 3 months, can be your 3 touches on the 4-hour trend or the weekly trend, whichever strategy you're using. Once it hits 3, now it's time to okay, take a break, give it 3 hours. Oh, not 3 hours, 3 4-hour candle. So the power of 3 works this way. Can be 3 4-hour candle, can be 3 days, can be 3 weeks. There's no telling, because it's their money. They can invest them in however they want. And because it's market makers who push this market, we really don't have a say in it. So you just have to watch. I think I've overemphasized on that power of 3. So make your notes and back test. What is important is not to take my word for it. What is important is for you to back test. Pick the knowledge, make your notes, open your charts, and back test. Don't just believe it because I said it, back test it. That is what is important. So let's move on to something else. Let's move to risk management. Now, risk management, how many times will I say just keep your margin percentage above 1,000? It's not important to me if you're going to take one position of 0.1 or if you're going to take a standard lot size. My gospel is whatever number of positions you have, just make sure that your risk management or your margin percentage stays above 1,000. Because at the end of the day, is your account. I cannot tell you the number of positions to take. I don't have that mandate. So keep the margin percentage above 1,000. That's fair. The day trading can also be session trading. There are people who trade the sessions. How many sessions do we have in the market? Anybody? How many sessions do we have in the market? Somebody tell me, how many sessions do we have in the market? You got to answer questions, else I'll not be giving you this free information. So how many sessions do we have in the market? Yeah, we have 3 market sessions. Thank you so much. We have the Asian session, we have the London session, and we have the New York or US session. For the Asian session, there are people who group it in 2, so like you can call them 4 if you want. But basically, they're just 3 sessions. Each of those sessions is 8 hours. Okay, so you have 8 hours for Asian, 8 hours for London, 8 hours for the US session. So if you're a day trader, you can decide to either trade 12 hours in the day. There is nobody who can trade for 24 hours because the market will still consolidate as the market starts and as it ends. So there is no market that goes for 24 hours. No, it has to consolidate at the beginning and at the end. So you can only trade either beginning, consolidates at the end, or consolidates half of it. And okay, so you have 12 hours, which are 3 candlesticks, the 3 4-hour candlesticks. That is the moving market, 12 hours in a day. So you can trade any session depending with your currencies. Go back to my post that I did in 2019. It will show you how to choose currencies based on sessions. That is for people who work 9 to 5. If you have a formal job, that is you're working 9 to 5, you need to pick currencies that move in the session that you're available. Let's say you're available before 8 in the morning. You can of course pick the New Zealands and the Aussies because they will move super heavy. You can also do the golds because they move super heavy those early morning. So you can be trading before you go to work. Then there are the London people, my people, my people. We're here, we have time. Maybe our jobs, we have a tea break, a lunch break. We have time to get into the market. Here we are the pounds, the euros, we're good to go. Then we have the people who leave work, or maybe they slept morning, so they're up at 4, 3, 4, 5. Now you're the USD guys, okay, and the cryptos and the indices. So so you pick what works for when you're available, because the market has 24 hours, but I can tell you for free, you can never trade 24 hours. You're going to have brain burnout, and there's nothing that is worse than brain burnout, because utaanza kuona patterns hakuna. Oh, for people who are not Kenyans, what I said is, if you encounter brain burnout on your trading, you're now going to take trades that have not met rules. You'll be seeing things that are not true. You'll be making up patterns that do not even exist. So you don't want to really have brain burnout. So pick currencies based on when you're available, based on your availability if you're a day trader. What about a swing trader? A swing trader is a person who holds a trade for more than a day. You can hold a trade for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, a whole year. If you're a hedge fund, okay, if you're running a small hedge fund for your family, or okay, you can hold it for as long as you want. Now, for a swing trader, You just hold trades, but you don't just wake up and click buy and hold. No, 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 no. You have to either get that trade at the exact low if you're a buyer, or an exact high. Now, this is where your strategy matters a lot. If you're a swing trader, you really got to have the patience in you, in your heart. You have to be a really patient person, because the market will not just move straight and give you money. They don't work like that, okay? At times it will test your patience, it will test your knowledge base, okay? So what you do, Edwin, So, of course, I'm still holding USD until December. Now, so, ignore Edwin. He's just distracting. So, if you're seeing trader, make sure that you have your trade at the lowest point if you're a buyer, and at the highest if you're a seller. Remember the quote, we buy low, we sell high. That will work best for a swing trader, okay? But if you're a trend trader, it also works well, because with every reactive move, on our last video, I talked about the impulse and reactive. And if you've not watched that, you can also watch the YouTube video about the market structure. It will really help you to see how to know your entries. We're done with that, right? Now, let's talk about the Friday market. So tomorrow is Friday. What happens on Fridays? Please, somebody answer, because in 2019, that is basically what I taught you all. Somebody tell me what Fridays are known for before I move on. You got to motivate me. So, what happens on Fridays? Let's refresh our brains now. What happens on Fridays? I want to read that from you. What happened on Fridays? Edwin, it's dumping day. Thank you. Kabura, it's trapping. Do we? Okay, trapping, dumping. Someone else. What happens on Fridays? A day trader can hold a trade for how long? Sabina, you can trade for however long your target needs. You can hold it for 1 hour, 2 hours, as long as it's not beyond 24. Because the minute you go beyond 24, that's not a day trader. That's a swing trader. Volatile markets. Paul, I'm asking what Friday is known for. James, cashing. Nunga, dump days. Tasha, dumping day. Yeah, Friday is dumping day. If you've not watched previous videos, dumping day means that these guys now are taking profits. It's the end of the week. They are taking profits. So what happens if they remove their volumes into the market? What happens? Somebody answer. What happens if the market makers remove their volumes from the market? Edwin, I want an answer from you. What happens when the institutions or the market makers take off their volumes from the market? And this is something I want you all to check tomorrow. Okay, it's important that you back test this knowledge. Tomorrow, I want all of you to back test. So, Edwin, I'm waiting. What happens? What happens when the institutions or market makers take off their money? Anyone else apart from Edwin? Anybody else who can tell me what do you think? Give me answers. Any answers? What do you think will happen if these guys take off their money? The market is not volatile. Thank you. In consolidate, I'm not sure, but Nico, confident. Thank you, Adrian. It's always good. Confidence. Confidence is super important in this field. It doesn't matter whether it's correct or not. You just have to be confident. Okay, you learn. Nobody woke up one day and they have the knowledge. No, you learn. And you learn by just answering questions and asking, you know, you ask and answer. So, Tian saying no volume to move the market. Thank you. So, if there is no volume to move the market, what happens? There's no volume to move the market, so what happens? If there's no volume, what happens? We retailers cannot move the market. Even if we are millions and millions of us, the market will not move. Davy says the market reverses. I would not use the name reverse because reverse means change of trend. I would say it pulls back. It gives discounts. It pulls back. There's a difference between a reversal and a pullback. I've done a post on that, right? So yes, this market retracement, Ezekiel, thank you so much. Consolidations and traders are trapped, Edwin, the market consolidates. So now when the market makers pull off their money or their volumes, now us as retailers, we really can do nothing. We can match their investments. So what happened is the market has to slow down. So there's low volatility. There is low volume being pushed. There is no much activity. And even if there is, it's just retailers against retailers as the market pushes lower. Let's say you're on a buy, or rather we're on GBPJPY for example purposes, the market will come lower. And if it comes lower, what happens when now they want back in? If they hit a low on London, of course, some of them will be coming in New York session, querying their entries. They want to secure some entries so that they can hit Monday London open. I hope you've all checked on the market secrets that I keep singing about. There's one on Monday London open. So how will they hit the Monday London open? Using their Friday entries. Their Friday entries will be very, very important, and they usually hit on the US session. Why? Because London has been deep if you're on a buying trend. So in US, they just do some entries and keep off, wait to hit them on Monday so that now they can continue their trend. So Fridays, what will be you looking for? If you're a counter trader is someone who is able to trade both ways. Paul, what did you say? I see someone saying Paul. Wow. Okay. I don't know what that is, but anyway, okay. So, what was I saying? So, if you're a counter trader, this is a trader who is able to trade two ways. Like if you're on a buy trade, you can quickly get into a sell trade, which is not advisable for someone who has not mastered their confidence. Okay, not even confidence. I actually say if you feel it in you that you cannot, it's not worth it. Like me, if I counter trend, I'll just lose everything. It doesn't matter if I have years in the chart, it just does not work for my personality. So don't trade everything. Don't trade the counters if you're like me. Just follow the trend. So what do? We wait for the Fridays to do whatever they want to do, whatever they are famous for. And once they are done, and now we check on sponsorship. I'm sure I talked about sponsorship 3 months ago. How to tell if the institutions are in a trade. Yeah, I talked about sponsorship 3 months ago. That is, no, 4 months ago. That is May. I remember May I talked about sponsorship. So you'll be looking for sponsorship or footprints. You want to see if the market makers have shown their prints on that specific currency that you're interested on. And once you do, now don't enter into the trade. Wait, okay, wait. You wait for them to just dilly-dally, trap. You don't have to do the Friday entries. You can wake up early morning on Monday and still get a good entry. And if you're not an early person, you can do the late night on Friday, get your entries with them, as long as your account can deal with a pullback. Because sometimes these guys don't mind if their accounts are in negatives in millions, because once they push, they'll just recover everything. So you don't want to be too early if your account doesn't have that financial muscle. Okay, so my advice would be don't get in on those very heavy volumes entry. Wait for Monday, hit them on the London Monday or Monday London trades. That would be fair. It usually does not have such high spreads like what you'd get on the Asian. Okay, I think I've overemphasized. So that's Friday market. The last one on volume trading. Now, I don't know how many of you use the TDI, the Traders Dynamic Index, but it's the best thing to check on your volumes. It's the best thing to check on your volumes. When you talk about volumes, it is basically the amount of money or amount of orders being placed at a point. If you click on any candlestick, at the end, it will show you the volumes at that point. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you can see the volumes. There is also an indicator. What is it? It's an indicator on TradingView. I can't remember its name. I saw it years ago. That shows you the volumes, whether the volume is high or low. I don't know whether it's called volume or something. So if you're an indicator trader, you can use that. But the best one to use is the TDI. How will you know? And actually, you can just get the TDI from just inserting your own Bollinger Bands and the RSIs and the MAs. You can go to YouTube and check how to install or how to come up with a TDI on your trading platform. Okay, I've not done that video myself, so you just go check from other people. I'm sure there's one. Okay, so once you use your TDI, now how will you know that there's volumes into or there are volumes with that specific currency that you're working on? Anytime there's volume being pushed, there will be an expansion of your volatility band. And this is very, very important. People who are on the mentorship program, I'm sure you can remember that I said, never get into a trade if your volumes are low. So I'm just going to make that very public. Don't get into your trades if your volatility band is shrunk or flat, because it is basically telling you the level of business ain't good. And you don't want to get into a trade where the volumes are low, because low volumes basically mean the market makers are not present. It's a gobble. So it doesn't matter whether you're using trend lines, whether you're using indicators, whether you're an institutional trader, whether you're a naked price action trader. It really doesn't matter what strategy you're trading. But it's important that before you get into a trade, make sure that there is enough volume. Okay? Good. So those are the questions that were given on Sunday. I was supposed to talk about them on Sunday, but I wasn't available. So the last one will be on personal mentorship or self-training. I guess this person was basically asking me to compare. Now, people are wired differently, and this is what I keep saying. People are wired differently. We all have different brain capabilities. You may have the best mentor on this world. You may have the best of the best. But if your brain is not wired for it, there is nothing that your mentor can do about it. People who have come into my training program, they know that we fight a lot, especially on the market analysis class. We will do a whole month of back, repeat, go back, repeat 100 times, repeat again. Yes, we'll do all those fights. Why? Because people are wired differently. There are people who get it with just 10 repetitions. There are people who get it on the 99th repetition. So it's not a matter of whether you're trained or whether you self-trained yourself. It's about your brain. And the faster you accept this, the better it will be for your trading. You don't need anybody to train you. You can self-train. It all depends with how you're wired. And before you rule out that you're not wired well, start with self-training. Before you pay for that training program, try training yourself. Get an ebook. Get the free documents. I don't know, whatever. Pick something. Check how your brain is. Do you grasp it or no? If it gives you a headache, then now get a mentor. If the training doesn't work, please go find something else to do. For a million times, I keep saying Forex is not for everybody, which is true. It's not for everybody. I don't want you to give up just because I said it, but it's a fact. It's a fact. It's not for everyone. If you're not wired for it, you're not wired for it. So, self-training or personal mentorship, it all depends with you as a trader. And of course, how much hunger? Are you hungry? There are people who have no hunger in them. You're not hungry enough. When we talk about being hungry, it means, are you really putting in the work? Are you the kind that you want to go to mentorship, but you don't want to do nothing? You just want your mentor to do everything for you. These are the kind of people who ask for signals. You come to my page and ask me, what do I think about gold? What do I think about it? Nothing. I just think that it's a metal. I just think that it's widely used in Australia. I think it's super volatile, and I think it requires an account that is above $1,000. And I think you can really blow like 100 accounts if you trade gold with no knowledge. There's so many things that I can tell you about gold. So, bottom line is, what kind of a trader are you, and what's your level of hunger? Are you hungry enough to work? Are you hungry enough to follow instructions? Don't just go to somebody's training program and not follow instructions. Seriously, we are all humans. Whether you're a mentor or a trader or a beginner or an intermediate, at the end of the day, you're human. So you don't want someone wasting a whole month of your time by just breaking rules. They could just have already picked another course or another skill or whatever, okay? So, anyway, self-train. Self-train. Self-train until you know what kind of a trader you are. And once you know what kind of a trader you are, and you make the decision to be hungry enough to put in the work, now you can get a mentor. Don't be a headache to somebody's life. Of course, I know you're paying them. Yes, you're paying them. But while you're paying for their time, what are you doing with the knowledge they are giving you? On this page, I give you information that I cannot write about. Seriously, I cannot sit and talk about the power of 3, risk management, day trading, swing trading, Friday markets, volume. I cannot write a book on that. But I can sit here, take 15 minutes of my time and share it for free. So when I share it, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? It's you now to take your notebook, write. Not only should you write, you should also open your charts and backtest. It's free information. It's everywhere. But now, if you just want me to talk about it, pick your notebooks, write for you, open your charts, backtest for you. Oh, okay. Okay. So, self-train and be hungry. Be hungry. Remember, Forex trading is doable. As much as it's not for everybody, it's indeed doable. But for it to be doable, you have to really put in some work. Put in time, put in discipline. Discipline is important. When you talk about discipline, I'm sure if you mentor and you follow this page, I'm sure you can agree with me that the most stressing part is if you have students who cannot follow instructions. Whoa, It doesn't matter if you pay them, they pay you $1 million. If they cannot follow instructions, it's a headache. And sometimes it's not the money that really counts, it's the peace of mind. I don't want to have 10 students who are giving me a headache that I cannot even trade my own accounts. Then it's not worth it. I would rather not train anybody, but still be able to maintain my account. So please, self-train, again, self-train for the millionth time. Self-train until you make a decision to be teachable. Be teachable, be trainable. That's very important. And of course, if you're trainable and you're hungry enough, find a mentor, be faithful to their strategy. I remember I keep saying one strategy for a whole year. It works with your brain. It helps your brain to grow as a trader. And of course, the results are awesome than being everywhere. We talked about being faithful last month. So be faithful. Tasha, any more tips for swing trades? Please specify. What are you looking for? What are you specifically looking for? Because for a swing trade, I've just said pick the lowest, swing it to the highest. So give me a specific question, Tasha. Let me know exactly what you're looking for. Then I'll answer you, and your question will be the last, and then we'll just end this session. So I'm waiting for you to write. And of course, if you have a question that is in line, we agreed that we'll be doing sessions that are orderly. So if you have a question on the power of 3, risk management, day trading, swing trading, Friday markets, or volume trading, please write it there so that I can answer, and then we can end this session. So Tasha, what are you looking for? Any specific thing? Because swing trading is very easy. Go find a top, go find a bottom, get in, position yourself, forget. It's a set and forget. It's a set and forget. So, any questions, guys? Any questions on those topics, or do we call it an evening? So, since we've done this live session on a Thursday, I think it will not make any sense to do another session on adding positions huko katikati. Yeah, with every pullback, with every retracement, you can add a position. With every retracement, but you have to be really keen to make sure that those retracements have ended. If you're using BTMM, of course, it's after every break of consolidation. After every breakout of the consolidation part, of course, you'll be using catch-up for entry. So anytime your catch-up has given you an entry after retracement, you're good. I know, Edwin, which you're using, so that's why I'm being very specific. Any other question? And please don't add positions when the market is already exhausted. When it's at the peak and you're trying to buy, that's the easiest way to lose an account. So be keen where you're adding your positions. Be very keen. It's okay to add your positions on level 1, on level 2, on level 3. It's not wise to add positions unless you're grid trading. Grid trading, G-R-I-D, the grid traders. There's a post on that. You can basically check what grid trading is about from previous posts. So Tasha, how do you, a swing trade is coming to a clear and not manipulation? Clear and not manipulation. How do you tell a swing trade is coming to a clear? What's a clear, Tasha? A clear end. Oh, a clear end. How do you tell that it's coming to a clear end and not manipulation? Which strategy should we use? Which strategy? Can we use BTMM? Let's use BTMM because it's the most stable market maker strategy, or any institutional. It beats all of them. Okay, and let's not argue. Let's not even have a debate about it. Steve. His strategy beats all of them, hands down. Okay, let's not even argue about it. So let's use Steve because it's the most stable. So if you're a BTMM trader, how do you know that it's at a peak? I know Edwin is going to answer that. Edwin, you're a BTMM trader. How do you tell that it's a peak? How do you ascertain that that peak is a peak? Tasha, there's something called lock. I want you to go through the post that I did this week, last week, I don't know. I did some screenshots and I've said PFH locked, PFL locked. Okay, I want you to see how the market locks. A high or a source or a low or a peak, whichever name you want to call it, a double bottom, double top, whatever, has to be locked for you to know that that's the end or the marketing coming back to that particular point. So I hope it's clear. It has to be locked. Yeah, Edwin says the ketchup and aqua iki lock. Yeah, so if you're BTMM trader, of course, you know there's the locking. The locking is basically when your ketchup and your aqua crossover. The market will never manipulate that lock. It's a done deal. So Tasha, if you're not a BTMM trader, then I don't know which strategy you're using, but your strategy should also have a way to tell whether it's a peak or low. Each strategy has rules. So go back to the strategy using Tasha and check how your teacher, trainer, or if you self-trained, wherever you got the information from, check how your ends are done. We call them exhaustion. How does the market exhaust depending on the strategy that you're using? But basically for BTMMs, I've cleared it, that it will be locked. For the institutional, you get the source. If there's an institutional trader who is watching this, you will get a source. Of course, with please stop calling. Whoever is calling, stop doing this. Okay, so if you're an institutional trader, of course you will find the source. If you are a trend line trader or the technical trader, you're the guys who talk about oversold, overbought, trend line break, what else? Exhaustion, sell to the pits, buy to the moon. You know, if you're an RSI, it will be above 85. If you're an RSI to the other side, it will be below 15. Okay, so each strategy has a way of checking the ends, Tasha. Any other question, guys? I'm already losing my voice. I'm already losing my voice. James, are you for real? Oh, okay. BTMM means beat the market maker. It's a strategy by Steve Mauro. Okay, it's a trading strategy. It's the best market maker strategy on this field, hands down. I've always told people, if anybody wants to argue with me on that, we can really get into a debate. But it's the best strategy under the sun, as long as it has anything to do with the market makers. So James, it's a trading strategy. And if you don't know, or if you're interested, I have ebook too. So when you go through the page, you see that I have an ebook too, which specifically talks about that specific strategy for beginners. If you're a beginner, you don't know what it is, you don't know how to start on it, you can take my ebook too and just go through it, check if it's something that works for your brains. Okay, any other question, guys? Oh yes. James, you're new. If you're totally new, don't start with BTMM. Start with understanding how the market operates. And this is for everybody, not just James. If you're new and you just bumped onto this live video, you just decided to join and you really don't know where to start, please, 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 please start with understanding how the market operates. Not only how it operates, also how to get into it. Okay, so what will you do? You first get the beginner's guide. It will show you how the market works, and from the beginner guide you also gain consistency. I usually say, just because I call it beginner guide, it's not just for beginners, it's also for struggling traders who have not gotten to the consistent level or consistency. You get the beginner guide, go through it. Once you know what kind of a trader you are, now you can either push to being a BTMM trader, the market maker trader, or you can go to ebook 4 where you're an institutional trader, or from there you can just get a mentor. There's so many traders who can mentor you. Okay, so you can get to my personal mentorship, or you can go to any other trader. Okay, there are mentors everywhere. You can find a mentor. They can take you through, they can give you mentorship and training and everything, and you're good to go. Okay, but always start with self-training, so that you have to know yourself first before you project yourself to the world, which is very important. So all beginners on this live, start with the beginner guide. You can read the first post on this page written "Beginners in the House." It will guide you on how to get started. So any other question? Tasha, you're asking me what happened to Bitcoin. What do you think happened? What happened? It just gave discounts. We just talked about volume trading. I just mentioned that. I just mentioned about volume trading in a few minutes. Am I expected to repeat that really? No. So guys, that's it. So for people who want to self-train, get copies of the ebooks, whichever ebook. Find the ebook that works best for what you're looking for. If you're struggling or if you're new, my recommendation is ebook 1, any day, anytime. Don't leave ebook 1 until you gain consistency. Now from your consistency, you can grow your account through either BTMM, or you can go to institutional trading through ebook 4. And sometimes there are people who are like me, who books don't work for them. Now, if you know books don't work for you, push through ebook 1, then get a mentor, get somebody to train you. For my personal classes, we will talk about that at some point, because time is really Oh, Marvel saying you found your sword. Thank you. Sabina, so on Friday, should we keep trading for beginners? Why not? If your strategy rules are met, why not trade? It's all about your strategy, Sabina. If your rules are met tomorrow, hit that trade, get in, make some money. Don't be the kind of trader who says, I don't trade on a Monday, I don't trade on Tuesday. No, the market doesn't work on days. No. It will even reverse on a Monday, while we all know that it's supposed to reverse on a Wednesday. This market is not controlled by any single person. So please, if your strategy rules are met, hit it and hit it well, regardless of the day. Okay, so beginner or not, if your strategy rules are met, go on and trade. Go on and make that coin. It's important, right? Don't we all want money? Of course, I know you do, because I do. I'm an accountant. Money means a lot. So, anyway, guys, so that is it. Thank you so much for your time. Again, I appreciate you all. If you're not here, whom would I be talking to? So, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for the feedback. I'm really happy. Oh, let me appreciate this guy who doesn't give me his names, but keeps sending me screenshots of his BTMM trade setups and BTMM growth and everything. I want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate you, King. Thank you so much. Your feedback means a lot to me, and I would appreciate if you give me your name, so that on the next live video I can just say hi, so that the whole world can know about your awesome growth. Otherwise, I appreciate you. Feedback helps me to get motivated to even share. If you know by now, like, there are times that I'm extremely excited based on the feedbacks you give, and there are times that I feel like, depending on the questions you've sent. So this particular guy has really been keeping my moods high. With this, no single day that I open my WhatsApp and there are no screenshots and feedbacks and whatever. So you guys, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, and I would really want to know your name. Okay, I would really want to know your name. Rotsi saying you'd love me to be your mentor. Can I reach you? Yes, you can. There's a number on the page. One rule: don't call me. Don't call me. You text me or you WhatsApp that number. Text, WhatsApp. Text, WhatsApp. Why is that important? You can imagine if the whole 2012 is 12,000 now. The whole 12,000 of you decided to call that number. I would never even have a minute to breathe. So text, WhatsApp. And also you can inbox the page. There's somebody who replies to all the inboxes. Guys, it's been awesome sharing my knowledge with you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. From I Wanjiru Gishangi, I want to wish you a lovely US session trading. Until next time, remember to send your feedbacks. Remember to, even if it's not really growth, let me know what you struggle with, because what you're struggling with, we can talk about it in the next video. So also write about your struggles, okay? I'm not just excited by people who have growth. I also want to change your trading journey. So write what you struggle with, inbox, WhatsApp, or text. Please don't call. Don't call. Please don't call. Please don't call. Text or WhatsApp your struggles, and then we will talk about them. If it's something we can talk about it, we will. If it's mindset, I'll just ask you to take a break and start again. So anyway, till next time, guys, thank you so much. I'm Wanjiru Gishangi. I wish you nothing but growth. Remember, Forex trading is a profession like any other. Therefore, approach it professionally. Thank you and do have an awesome time. It's indeed doable, right?